guy that I knew from my neighborhood was walking. He got a bunch of jewelry on. And I said, I'm gonna go take it, you know. I've always been a badass. So as he walked down the sidewalk, I pulled a gun on him. He started panicking. Let me get your jewelry. And he took off. I said, take all your clothes off too. So he took his clothes off. He got butt naked and ran straight home.
Knowing your story, you've done more than just home invasions. Sold drugs, you robbed banks.
Oh, everything.
Meet Jason Neal. Once caught in a world of crime and chaos, he rose to become the CEO of Rock Fitness and the author of No Struggle, No Progress. This is a story of redemption, resilience, and raw transformation.
So I was young, I think 13, selling drugs. At night when all the other kids were asleep, I would cut a hole in my screen and let all the crackheads come knock on the window and I would serve them. And every day the guy would drop me off $150 worth. I would give him $100 back, he would give me 50. And no one ever knew my mom.
Now you said it was 4 of you guys,
Yes.
right? You said 2 are dead.
Yes.
So what happened with
I'm
those?
gonna tell you the story of how they were murdered. God showed me all those people I took millions of dollars from. When I put it into something that I wanted, was taken from me. I couldn't hold on to anything.
Throughout this journey with cancer,
Yes.
you've seen the true side of traditional medicine,
Absolutely.
which is scary.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that you mentioned, doctors are drug dealers.
They are drug dealers and I got upset with them.
Welcome to another episode of a Healthy Point of View podcast. I'm your host, Sam Tejada. And as usual, we're bringing guests from all over the world to talk about health, wellness, beauty, and mindset. Today, our guest, he's local here in South Florida. This is a gentleman that we're going to talk about his conviction, his testimony today about what he's gone through. This is someone who's gone from the streets, dealing with crime, being part of the crime, to becoming a successful CEO, business owner, to now fighting for his life. Today we have Jason Neal, aka Rock. What's up, brother? How you doing? Well, welcome to a Healthy Point of View podcast,
I
brother.
appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to me.
You know, you have a powerful story, man.
Yes.
You know, sometimes when it comes to these podcasts, a lot of podcasts are always looking for the people that have all this crazy following on social media and stuff. And I remember the day you reached out and my team sent over your information and your story. I looked at it as this is a story.
Yes.
This is something that we got to talk about. We got to bring this to the world.
Yes.
So, you mind if I call you Rock?
Most everyone calls me Rock.
All right.
You know.
I like Rock, you know?
You know.
So
It was earned.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Amen.
So, Rock, I want you to take me back of your upbringing, right?
Okay.
I want to talk about how you grew up and
Okay.
who you were as that 5-year-old kid.
My mom had me when she was very young. She had 2 kids when she 15 and 16. So it was very difficult growing up. Then my mom went away to try to finish high school, and she left me with my grandparents. So I love my grandparents. Those were my first strength when it come to parents. My grandparents. My mom was too young, so she was a little girl,
Right.
And I speak about that in my book about my dad. Like my dad was 5 years older than my mom, and no one addressed those issues. What if a 15-year-old having a baby, having sex with a grown man,
Right.
Back in those days, I guess people didn't care,
Yeah.
But I would never allow that to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I grew up, I was a little different than all my other cousins because it was like 9 of us in the house, and I was the one that was standoffish because I couldn't process like the rest of my cousins process. All of my cousins were great with that. They were musicians. They played the drums, guitar. I couldn't do anything, and I was a loner. I think possibly because my mom wasn't around,
Mm.
So what happened was my grandfather he would take me to pick apples with him in the orchards.
Okay.
And he was like,
What was that here in Florida?
upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
Yeah, so all my other cousins, it's a lot of us live in the house. They were like, why do you always like to go work with granddad? I was like, I like working with my grandfather.
Right.
He was an old man, so he would get tired sometimes, and they made me, a little handy thing where I put the apples in and I would keep dumping them while he takes breaks. It was fun to me. So when my mom got on her feet, she sent for me in 1984. I think I was 10. So what happened was I was a square, but I went into a neighborhood full of crime. So what happened? I always like to hang around older kids. So I just started hanging around older kids, and then my mom met a gentleman. My stepdad, great guy. He tried his best with me. I'm gonna be honest. He was there for me playing when I played sports, and it just the streets overpowered me. You know.
Yeah.
So what happened was we moved to West Palm Beach, and I was already 2 grades behind because I couldn't read. In school, I don't understand. I don't even remember my early childhood for school because all I remember is I was so embarrassed that I couldn't read when I was a kid. When I was go to Bible study because my grandparents kept us in the church,
Right.
and I would make up any type of lie because they would let the kids read in Sunday school. But when they get close to me, I would always like, can I please? I have to use the restroom, so I would get up and walk away,
Right.
just till they get past me. I did it all my life, even in high school before I dropped out. You know,
Wow.
so I would always not allow people to know I had a reading disorder. I couldn't learn like everyone else.
Right.
But so what happened was when we moved to West Palm, I met up with older kids again, and they taught me how to sell cocaine. So I lived. The older kids would teach me how to drop. We call them 50 packs, where they cook the crack for me and they cut it up and they let me sell it in the neighborhood. So I was young, I think 13, selling drugs. Out of the back window at night when all the other kids were asleep. I would cut a hole in my screen and let all the crackheads come knock knock on the window, and I would serve them. And every day the guy would drop me off $150 worth. I would give him $100 back. He would give me 50, and no one ever knew. My mom, no one ever
Wow.
knew that. She would always say, "Well, where are you getting money from?" "Oh, I found it, mom."
Hmm.
You know, and we were struggling, but I always had decent clothes. She was like, Where do you get all these clothes from?" I was like, "Friends gave them to me." Even though I was selling drugs, making good money as a 14-year-old. I
Wow.
was probably making about 400 a week at 14.
Yeah, especially back then.
Yeah, that was a lot of
That
money
was a
back
lot of money.
then. So, how my life first changed, I was playing basketball. I was doing pretty well. I was a star on the team, but then my temper always got the best of me. I ended up fighting a guy, and I got kicked off for the last game. So my trophy was given to a kid who didn't deserve it.
Mm.
So what happened was, this is where it all changed. The guy that was teaching me how to sell drugs, he was older than me, and he would teach us how to, drop the dope, whip it, and bring it back. He started teaching us, elevating us. So he started teaching me, and I would sell dope to. If I ran out of drugs, what I would do is wait till someone else client come, and we would sell them fake coke, fake dope.
Mm.
Until one day that backfired on me. It's a guy I used to give drugs to, and he lived in a trailer park, so he would let us hold his car the whole weekend for drugs. So we would give him a $150 worth of dope. He would let us. We teenagers driving a car. My mom didn't even know these
Oh
things.
wow.
I'm driving a car around the other neighborhoods to see girls having fun. At 14. So one day, it changed. That's when I first changed. A guy that I knew from my neighborhood was walking. It was a cold winter night, and my friend was like, he got a bunch of jewelry on, and I said, I'm gonna go take it. I've always been a badass, so my heart was always big. I never ran from a fight, never.
Mm.
So as he walked down the sidewalk, I pulled a gun on him. My friend had a 22 inch. It was a long, older gun, and when I pulled a gun on him, he started panicking. But I was really playing with him. I know him. So I was like, "Let me get your jewelry. Take your necklace off." And he took off. I said, "Take all your clothes off too." So he took his clothes off. He got butt naked and ran straight home before I can give him his clothes back. I'm trying to play with him. But I went to take his clothes and his jewelry to his house, but I heard his mom in there yelling, "I'm going to kill him. Who did that to you?" So what I did was I left the clothes by the door. I went home, and I can still remember what I was watching when the police came and got me.
Mm.
Denzel Washington, The Mighty Quinn. It's a movie. And I was watching the movie, and I heard a knock at the door with helicopters. And
Oh
it was like,
wow.
"Does Jason Hill live here?" And they arrested me for armed robbery
Wow.
at 15 years old. So that was the beginning. And I tried to do the right thing after I got out of the detention center. I went back to play ball, but I just could never learn like everyone else could. So what happened was, after I got out of the detention center, it seemed like something's always trying to put me back on the right track. Something
Yeah.
traumatic usually happened in my life that puts me back on
I
the
mean,
right track.
that's kind of how God works, right?
It really does.
He keeps on working on you. Let me ask you this. What is it about at that point in time, right, that about crime that you liked so much?
I have an addictive personality. And I tell people, if you have an addictive personality, you better be careful. Because when you start loving something, it becomes a part of you. And that's what happened to me with money. I never really focused on chasing women. I just love them. The women came with the money.
Right.
They always chased the guy who got it. So I never had that problem,
Right.
never in my life. What happened was I bumped into a new group of people. I tried to go to college, I tried it, but I didn't have any help. People are always, when they read my book, they were like, I read your book and it showed how you got to college. So this is how I got to college. I tell so many stories in my book. I don't even know how I got here. I'm not supposed to be here, to be honest with you. I've done so much. A friend of mine, he's a lawyer right now, prominent lawyer in Fort Lauderdale. He was always very smart where we live at.
Right.
So I told him, I want to go play ball in college, because colleges like me. I can play ball. I was pretty decent, but I can't pass the GED test. So he was like, I'll help you rock, whatever you need. You're my guy. So I said, okay, here's my my address. Put your face on my identification card. So he got an identification card with my picture, with his picture on it, with my address, with my name. I don't know how we did it back then, but we did it.
Right.
We went to the DMV and they did it. So he went to the the GED school where I was. He was like, they usually give you a practice test because I failed the first one. So he said he went in and took the practice test and he came back out. I said, how did you come back so fast? It's only been 20 minutes. He looked at me and said, Rock, you can't pass this? I'm like, no. He was like, come on, Rock. This is so easy. I was like, you're the scholar, not me. He's the one that's really smart. He's scored a 1700 on SAT. So he said, I'm going to take the test for you. How many do you want me to miss? I said, excuse me? He said, how many do you want me to miss? I was like, 2. So this is crazy. He took the test. I came back to pick him up. Took him 30 minutes. I get a call, I think like 2 months later. And they called me in for the test, for the school. They was like, do you know you scored one of the highest scores of the GED test in the state of Florida?
Oh, wow.
I was like, man, I worked really hard. No one believed in me. I worked hard. And I went back and told him, he was like, yeah, it was so easy, Rock. I'm going to University of Miami. He was very smart. So I tried to go to college. I just didn't have any help. When I got there, I was on a scholarship. They gave me a full ride. But I went back to selling dope and doing bad things. All I knew.
Right.
So I left one school because I taught some other guys about doing certain bad things they shouldn't be doing. And they told on me. So I left. And then when I left, that's when I blew up. I came back to West Palm and I became a wolf.
Wow.
So the first home invasion I ever pulled, I pulled about 50 in my life. More than 50.
You've done more. So knowing your story, you've done more than just home invasions.
Absolutely. I sold tons of keys because
sold drugs, you robbed banks.
Oh, everything.
Right.
Everything. I used to take notes in banks and tell them, don't you pull from that die pack.
Wow.
Because I knew someone in the bank already had told
Did you
me.
plan all this out? Because
Absolutely.
you can't just go walk into a bank.
Put it this way, I was very educated in crime. That's why I tell people, what you focus on, you become great at. I don't care what it is.
Right.
You put in the work, you're going to become great at it.
Yeah.
The hardest thing about my life was the first time. Because the first time you pull a weapon on someone, it's the hardest. Second and the third is the easy. Because
Why is it hard the first time?
Because it's nerves. When you get in a fight, you're nervous, right?
Right. Yeah.
The first one is always the hardest. But then it became I have that addicting personality. So what I did was made it a career with 4 of us. And we became we call ourselves the 4 horsemen. 2 of them are dead right now. They're murdered. I'll tell you the story of what happened to them. what happened was they sent me on my first one. They were like, we're going to pop your cherry. This is what you need to do. This guy's holding about a half a kilo of cocaine and about 20, 30,000. So they like, you scared? I was like, nah. Even though I was scared, that was my first one. It was the hardest. So what I did was I watched the guy. I did what they told me to do. We waited. We laid on him. When he came back, I pulled a gun on him. I was nervous. My hand was shaking. And the guy was more scared than I was. So he went in there, tied him up. They taught me how to use what we call zip ties. I became a master at zip ties. A master. I can hog tie anyone.
Oh, wow.
And walk you through a house. I don't care if you're a big guy, little guy. I'm going to tie you up. I'll zip tie you.
Wow.
And you're going to cooperate.
You would bring your own zip ties?
Yeah, we go to Home Depot, and we used to get the bigger ones, the smaller
heavy
ones.
duty
Depends on
ones.
who you are. If you're a little guy, we don't need the big ones for you. We need the little ones.
Right,
So
right.
we were professionals. So what happened was, the first one was the hardest, and then it became an addiction. But this is what happened. All the millions of dollars I made, we hit so many of them. Mayors, Zales, we punished them all. But then what happened was it just got out of control. And I would have like 3 or 4 banks with safe deposit boxes full of money. And I would have women that worked at the bank. I would give them money like every two weeks, every month, to make sure if anyone ever come in there asking about me, let me know. Because I was always calculated, thinking ahead,
Right.
Because, and then what happened is, one day, a jeweler, very prominent jeweler in my city, he told me a shipment of diamonds are coming in. Now, I done hit so many of them, now it's gotten, I'm a millionaire, close to it. So,
How old are you around this time?
38.
38.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had done saved up. I would get a car every 8 months, whatever I choose. That was my only vice, is cars
A nice car.
and jewelry, Rolex, and stuff like that.
Man.
Nothing else. I didn't like anything else. So what happened was the jeweler told me, he said, we got a big shipment coming in, Rock. And I said, when is it coming in? He said, the gentleman's going to be coming in. He don't think no one knows because he's a diamond jeweler, So it came in, and we watched him for a couple of days. We knew when he was going to be doing it. So when he got my FBI badge and my guns and, we're big guys, so we look like we're cops. We had a bunch of work cars like Town Vic, Crown Victorias and stuff like that. So I said, let's take him down. So I went and got my badges, my police badges, and my bulletproof vest. So he has a system. It was just the luck of the draw. We walked and I buzzed to come in his office. He's sitting in the back, and he let me in because I had my police uniform on.
Right.
And he allowed me in. So I put my foot in the door. Once he let me in, my friend's coming behind me, but he couldn't do anything. I was already there. So what I did was I tied him up, and he was a little guy, probably about 5'4", older gentleman. He was a jeweler. So I tied him up and I put the zip ties on him, but he wasn't scared of us for some reason. Most people are scared of us.
Right.
You got guys with them Glocks and, guns on them. Most people are going to be scared. So as I tied him up, this happened in real life. I'm never going to forget this day. The safe was already open. What a coincidence. So the safe was really tall. So I was like, damn, there's a lot of stuff in the safe. And we're looking through the safe. We don't want the scrap stuff. We want the real stuff,
Right.
like the brooches and the diamonds. And we were looking for our shipment, and we found it. But the gentleman looked at me, and he said, why are you doing this to me? And I looked, and I saw my grandfather in real life. My grandfather's been dead since 87. And my friend was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I saw something, and it freaked me out. So I said, okay, let's get back to, looking through the safe. They were like, we found all the big diamonds. I said, but there's a lot of stuff in here. So he said, who sent you? He wasn't even scared. And I looked back, and it was my grandfather in the middle of a robbery. I've never done this before in my life, and I've hidden big ones. Trust me, even keys of cocaine, I would never leave something. I looked at everyone and said, stop. And one of my friends was like, no, man, it's full of stuff. I reached back and grabbed my Glock, and I say, stop, goddammit, or I'll leave your ass here. I'm the boss. My show. So they were like, okay, let's stop. Just take what you got. Let's go. This happened in real life. I got back to one of my apartments that I had stashed. We call it a stash house where we keep our guns, our vests. Never where we live. You always gonna keep a Glock on you, but you never keep that type of artillery where you lay your head.
Right.
You get caught with those guns, illegal guns, you're going away forever. So we got back to the place and I looked at they asked me what happened to you. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. It freaked me out what I saw. It scared me.
Wow.
I know my grandfather loved me so much. And my grandfather used to always tell me, God send warning before destruction. He always used to tell me that, and it played back in my mind that night. So I looked at all four of us. It's four of us standing up there, and I said, how much money do you have put away? I'm sitting on about 400,000. I said, how much you got put away? I don't know, about 400,000. I said, how much you got put away? It's four of us now. It said about the same, and then one of them said, how much you got put away? And then my mind said, don't tell them. I was like, I'm sitting on about 400, even though I was all close to $1 million in real life, you know.
Right.
So what happened was, they was like, I said, I'm done. They was like, you gonna be done with Rock? What you gonna do? I said, man, I don't know, but I'm done. So when they left that night, I said, y'all can have everything. I don't want the diamonds. Take it to our connection. Y'all cash out. I don't want it. I'm done. I want to wash my hands with this. So that night I cried like a baby, and I wanted to kill myself because I became a monster. And I look back on all those people I robbed and tied up, and all the people. Some were bad, some were good. You know.
Yeah.
That's the way the game goes. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. So I went and I told things. I went to get some help. Someone was speaking to me about, why do you want to kill yourself? I was like, I became out of control. And I told him I don't want to do this no more. And that was the night I asked God to come into my life and help me. I was like, I can't read. I don't know. I never worked before, so I don't know how to work. The only thing I know is to sell cocaine and muscle people and take what I want.
Right.
So what I did the next night, I went and got all my guns, my vests, and I went to a little bridge where Donald Trump lives. It's a little small bridge before you get to Mar-a-Lago. And I had a pillowcase full of my guns and stuff. And I said, I left the bag and I let it go in the ocean. And I said, I'm never going to look back.
Wow.
And this is how I fell into the gym business. It's really a fluke because I was praying to God. I was like, God, what am I going to do now? I got money, but I don't know what to do. So I walked in the gym one day and the owner was like, hey, your name is Rock, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, everyone likes you. People talk about you. I like your Range Rover outside. So I was like, thank you. And he was like, you want to work here? I said, why would you ask me that? I was like, I don't know. Everyone loves you here in this gym. I just go to the workout, boo. I said, sir, to be honest with you, I can't read. He said, don't read. Just tell people to come sign up. That's what he said to me. So he told me, just let people come sign up. And I was like, okay. But the beautiful thing about that, I found something I like. So what I did was I cut the world off. I worked every day. And I was so happy to be working. And people like,
you just like connecting with people.
Yeah.
And
I was like, people like, why do you work every day? I was like, you need the money. I was like, no, I just like being here. I like working.
that was like your safe place.
Yes. I found something I like to do. I cut all my friends off. That's when I found out what God is doing. What God will do is God will take you to the wilderness when he's working on you to bring you back out.
Right.
He's always going to separate you from everyone.
Now, when you connected with God,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you had that conviction and you prayed to him,
Yes.
How was that? Like, did you start going to church? Did you try to get into the
doors
word?
started opening by themselves.
Okay.
Like, remember, I was looking for a job, and the job came to me. I didn't even look for it. And I started learning how God works. If you ask God for help, God will give you help, but you first have to repent. If you don't repent, you're not sorry for what you did.
How did you repent?
I begged for forgiveness to God, and I tried to correct what I did wrong. And that was not selling cocaine, not selling no dope, not robbing people, living with ethics. So I learned to be, okay, this is not right, so I can't live like this. Bad as if it got hard, I wanted to go back to that, because it's all I know,
Right.
It's the muscle. Take it from you.
Now, you said it was four of you guys,
Yes.
right? You said 2 are dead.
Yes.
So what happened with
I'm
those
gonna
guys?
tell you the story of how they were murdered. I got so much in my book that it's things that I'm not proud of, but I did. This is what happened with them. I I had a friend who I sold keys of cocaine to. He was a big time realtor. He owns a construction company. He's not with us anymore. And one day he looked at me and said, Rock, you've been working for about a year. Why don't you open your own gym? I said, I don't know. I got the money, but I need some, I don't know how to put it in the banks. He said, I tell you what, you keep serving me cocaine. I'll launder the money for you. So what happened was he did. He put it in accounts for me through his company. And now he's like, go look for your location. So I started looking for a location, but I couldn't find one because I didn't have the credit to get a location. You got to have credit. You can have $1 million, but you don't got credit. You got to show backing that you can pay that rent.
Right, right.
You got to show it. I don't care where you're at. You got to show. So what happened was I was praying to God. That's what made me get stronger with the Lord. Every time I had a problem, I would go to God, and I started getting closer to God, studying the word. So I said, God, I'm out the streets. I want to open my own location. And this happened in real life. People might think I'm crazy, but this literally happened. I kept trying locations. No one would give me an opportunity. They was like, you don't have enough credit.
Right.
You got credit for cars, but not $1 million credit where you can hold, buildings. My rent was $25,000 a month, 20
Right.
grand. So you got to have some good credit. So one day I pulled into a store that I used to go to every day. And I said, God, I need you. I don't want to go work for nobody. I've tried it for a year and a half. So as I was driving down the street, a voice spoke to me, clear as day. Put it over there. Now,
Wow.
this is a Publix plaza. It's so hard to get into that type of plaza because it's an anchor.
Right, right.
People don't realize that you can't get in a Publix or a Walmart. You got to have some juice.
Yeah.
So what happened was I went and applied and they let me. They was like, you got the money to pay for the build out? I said, yes. That's how I started.
Wow. Wow.
And all I did was take the knowledge I learned, couldn't read a lick. And it's the same, I tell people every day, you covered what you see every day. It's just like dealing with people. It's a product. It's like cocaine.
Right.
If you got a good product, it'll sell itself. But what happened with my friends, it's crazy how life works. The day I cut my ribbon to open my first location,
Mm-hmm.
they pull up, all three of them.
Really?
And they were,
They pulled up in support of you, or?
they see me because they heard about the grand opening. And they were like, Rock, we're struggling right now. I gave them some money and they were like, come on with us on this lake tonight. I was like, I don't live like that anymore. And I could still hear one of them saying, you've gotten soft. You used to be really tough. I was like, nah, God delivered me from that.
Right.
I can't take something from a person. I can't. I cannot. So what happened that night, I was sleeping and I received a phone call at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, who calling me at 4:35 in the morning? As I woke up, I'm still sleepy. And one of them was panicking. Rock, you got to get here. They're dead. They're dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they're dead. Meet me at such and such strip club. It was 5 in the morning. And I get there, and two of my friends are laying in the car, dead.
Wow.
One of them is still alive, but they're dead. I said, what happened? He said, first, let's get rid of the car. Now, it's a rental car in his name. So I said, drive my truck. I'll drive the rental car with the dead bodies in. I did. I drove it to where I felt comfortable. I still got it in my phone, the newspaper article with the two bodies laying there. I put it there, put them there.
Wow.
So what happened was I got done and I told them, I love y'all and I'll catch up with you on the other side. They looked like they were asleep, but they were dead. And it was bullet holes. I'll show you in my phone. The car's full of bullet holes because I saw it in the newspaper and I took pictures of it.
Right, right.
But I'm the one who moved that car in. I asked him what happened. He said, you know what happened, Rock? What you used to tell us, the main thing about if you're going to do any type of robberies, always tell people this. I'm hungry, but I'm not starving. When you're starving, you make mistakes. When you're hungry, you're still okay. They were starving. They were dead broke. The money I gave them, it was during Christmas time. They needed the money to buy the kids' Christmas toy. So they went on what we call a lick without thinking it out. They rushed. And when you rush, you make mistakes.
Wow.
I tell people all the time, In life, if you rush, you're gonna make a mistake. You're
What
gonna
do you
miss
think
something.
that mistake was that they made?
I'm gonna tell you what the mistake was. Remember, I said there's always a weak link in the chain.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of ours used to always put us on big licks. What comes in off the coast, if he knows a Haitian connect coming in with a bunch of keys, he would tell us, just give me back what I spent. That's all. Remember, they didn't know he was telling us all this stuff. And he told them that these gentlemen were coming in with some keys and they were rushing to get to the point to drop, to wait till the guys come in with the keys to tie them up. So what happened is they didn't go do their due diligence work, due diligence to go get zip ties and to get everything we need to make sure everything functioned right. And what happened was he told me the story. He said, Rock, I stayed in the car. They tied the guys up, right? They tied them up. But when they came back to the cars with the keys and the money, as they were driving away, we always had this rule, drive away norm, calm, don't make a scene. Just do it and be calm. He said he looked in his rear view lights and he saw lights coming up on the car. It's late at night. And he said, the car rolled up on the side of us and they let the window down and they Swiss cheese the car.
Wow.
He said they were driving, when they got up on the side, they hit diagonal. One was in the back seat, one was in the front. So it hit diagonal, killed them instantly. He slammed on brakes and the car kept going. So that's how they were killed.
Wow.
And then I had to get in the middle of the situation because the guy's brother thought that he murdered him and took the dope. Well, why would he do that? And the rental car is in his name. So he was scared because the rental car was in his name. He was like, Rock, I'm scared. The rental car is in my name. They're going to think I killed him. And I said, no, they're not going to think you killed him if you go to the police and say, you're the victim too. Now, if the gentleman who shot them up would have got caught, they would have been all right because it was in the commission of a crime,
Right.
Even though it was drugs, it's still, he would have got the time. But see how he got away. And he ended up in prison for life right now because he didn't stop. And I warned him.
Wow. Wow.
I warned
And
him.
that easily could have been you. I mean,
Absolutely.
they
I was
invited
supposed to
you
be in
to
that
that,
car.
right?
I was
Right.
supposed to be in that car.
Wow.
But God saved my life.
So, Rock, you right now you got stage 4 cancer,
Yes.
and I want to talk about that because that cancer, you went from being on the streets, doing a lot of crime, to becoming a CEO of multi-location
Yes.
gyms,
Mhm.
these fitness centers. Where now you have cancer and you're
Yes.
fighting for your life,
Yes.
right? And I want to talk about what cancer has taken from you, and also what has cancer given you.
Yes. To be honest, I always tell people the truth about cancer. Cancer hasn't been all bad. Just the medication is really bad, but the lessons are priceless. They show you that people are fake. When you're up, people will love you. When you fall, you're a ghost.
Right.
And that's why it's priceless. I tell people all the time, it taught me so much.
You kind of really see people's true colors.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing you brought up before when we talked was you talked about your buddy who's doing life now
Yes.
in prison, and you've had the opportunity to talk to him.
To a couple of them. And they
And
told me I got away.
right,
Like they would tell me that, Rock, you got away, because I would send them money. And when I got cancer, I told them I didn't get away. I got by till it was my turn.
right,
So what happened to me, God showed me this. And I know God is real now. God showed me all those people I took millions of dollars from, right? When I put it into something that I wanted, it was taken from me. I couldn't hold on to anything. All my
the
cars,
gyms and stuff.
everything was being taken from me.
right,
Not given, taken.
right,
And so I understood when I was sitting in chemo, God showed me, I'm not going to take your life. Like people think stage 4 is everyone dies. No, you don't die. You control the disease, What you eat, mine is small, It's just I eat right to control it,
right,
And now they got new medication out. It's disappearing in my body, So
right.
that's what happened. What God showed me is that you get by, you don't get away. It's going to come back some type of way. You can cheat the system all you want. It's a
Right.
circle. It might not come back the way you want it, but it's going to come back. I always tell people, everyone gets their turn on the seesaw. Everyone,
Everybody.
everybody.
All right.
I heard Iceberg Slim, the famous pimp, one day. I heard him say something. Every time you try to get something for nothing, you're gonna suffer one way or the other. I
Wow.
tried to get it for nothing,
Right.
and it came back. I suffered.
Wow.
The cancer is just allow. I'm a spokesman for cancer because people don't understand. Every day I see people eating like, wow, you don't understand what you're doing. Start being conscious of your health and what you put in your body because you don't want to see what I see when I go to people on chemotherapy. It takes so much out of people, you know?
Now you've throughout this journey with cancer,
Yes,
you've seen the true side of traditional medicine,
absolutely.
which is scary. And
Absolutely.
one of the things that you mentioned is that you said doctors are drug dealers.
They are drug dealers, and I got upset with. I've been to every major hospital in the United States, the best. MD Anderson, University of Miami, Cleveland Clinic, Moffitt. And the doctors, a couple of them I got aggressive with. I said, you remind me of dope dealers. You know what? What the fuck?
Right.
You want to put me on medication and cut me? That's all you want to do. I never let them cut me because I started learning information about what tumors are. Tumors are there to protect you. If you
Right.
eat the right thing, you can reverse the tumor. It'll shrink because you're not giving it food.
Right.
Information is power. Even like ivermectin, and I started finding out what are the chemicals and the compounds that make these drugs. They're all plant-based.
Right. Right.
Ivermectin is wormwood. So I started taking wormwood. So my numbers went tremendously down. And doctors are asking, why did your numbers go down so far? I was like, stop listening to you guys because you guys are criminals. I started studying about like the trials that are coming out. And I was angry with the doctors until I spoke with a scientist. I was like, are they racist against blacks and Spanish? Because 80% of the people that are doing the trials are white.
Why is that?
He told me, he said, Rock, I would tell you the truth. He's white, a big scientist. He's like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Blacks and Hispanics don't ask for information about the trials, Rock. You did. So why are you in trials and you're doing well now? Your
Wow.
cancer's gone. And your blood is no more.
Wow.
And he was like, and then I started asking doctors at the centers. And then they would come up with some of the wildest stories. Like one of them told me like black people and Spanish people think it's bad luck to do a trial or, something he said that was crazy. I was like, excuse me, we want to live like you guys want to live.
Right. Right.
If you don't give us the information that we don't know. And that's the reason I don't too much like oncologists because they don't tell us about alternative medicine. They don't even tell you about trials that are in the same hospital.
Wow.
It's all a business.
The business.
It's a hustle. And I told them, I said, you guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. If a new trial came out that's phase 3, that means it's working on humans.
Right.
And you will not tell us? Well, you have to ask. You ask, Rock. Most people don't ask. Like even in the chemotherapy rooms, it's a big room. And when you got good insurance like I do, and people there, they'll give you cake, chips, dip, everything.
Wow.
I was like, cancer likes sugar. Why are you giving it to them? Well, we're not dietitians. I was like, sad.
That's crazy.
Sad.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot in the hospitals. And my business partner, Dr. Christopher Davis, he talks about this all the time. He's an interventional cardiologist. And he would say, he'd go to the hospital, put caths in patients and stuff, that got cardiovascular disease. And you go to the recovery room and you look at what they're feeding them. It's the exact food that got them to the cath lab.
That's what I'd be laughing at when I was telling my doctor, you guys ought to be shaming yourself.
Right.
You really should. But now they're coming out now. Everything's changing now with immunotherapy. So cancer, they told me personally, the scientists said cancer will be done in 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Because now they're making your immune system recognize it now.
Right.
With CAR and TILs. Now they're going into your body. They're going into the tumors now and getting white blood cells and T cells out of the tumor and taking them to a lab and ramping them up.
Right.
Like 10 million of them and ramming them back in your body.
Wow.
So your body, what they want your body to do is remember. Know that that's a foreign entity. It shouldn't be in your body. So that's why people are living now with cancer.
Yep. What would you say is some of the biggest misconceptions about cancer and nutrition?
Mm. The biggest thing about cancer and nutrition is this. The, I'm going to say this, and I hope I say it right. Um, the media, the media scares you with cancer because it only shows people that are dying. It doesn't show the millions that are living
Right.
with immunotherapy and eating correctly. They're not going to do that because big pharma's pushing it. Show that you're dying to scare you. They're
Right.
scare tactics. The people that beat it are always the ones that start doing more research. The people that die are the ones that just listen to the oncologist. He don't care.
Wow.
He gets paid by that bag of chemotherapy that's going in you. They get paid for that. I started finding out.
Wow.
It's all a hustle.
It's
But
a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. But dieting has taught me so much. That's why I tell people cancer has been a blessing too now. It taught me how to eat. I don't eat the same thing everyone else eat. I juice every day. 10 pounds of greens every day.
Wow.
I don't eat no carbs.
Where do you get your greens from? You buy 'em?
I go to the Whole Foods. I spend a lot on greens,
Right.
but all bitters. I eat aloe I juice aloe every day. Broccoli. These are strong chemicals in these. You know,
Right.
it comes from the earth. I even thought of something that it must be working because my doctors are saying the cancer is not no more in my blood. It's gone. I went and bought a soursop, the real fruit.
Mm.
So what I did was say, okay, God, I'm gonna use a little common sense. I'm not a book scholar, but you know, I'm kind of smart. So what I did was take the seeds and put them in a pot, and the tree grew. So I
Mm.
just eat the plant every day,
Oh, wow.
the actual plant.
Right.
And then my doctor's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
You do any sprouts?
I do broccoli sprouts. I do
I
broccoli
hear
every
those
day.
are full of
It-
phytonutrients.
And you know what? The big one, the huge broccoli is it doesn't have as much as broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts is like 100 times stronger.
Right.
So I do both. So what happened was I just cleaned up my diet, and it helps everything, your skin, everything. Diet, what you put in. Like in 2 years, I haven't eaten milk. Well, I haven't drinking milk. Haven't drunk any milk or like bread. I don't eat bread or nothing like that anymore.
Right.
No carbohydrates. And the body will shift. You just got to give it what it needs.
You got to give it the raw material that it
Yes.
needs.
What I
Right?
learned about food is a drug.
What is some things that you see like in healthcare when it comes to minorities?
Glad you said that. I started doing research and started asking questions, and doctors, they were hesitant to tell me. We're dying faster than everyone. Middle class whites are living. I even called the Cancer Society to see, you know, what kind of programs they have because I travel a lot. You know, MD Anderson is in Texas. Those plane tickets were very expensive. I would have to stay there for a week at a time. And I remember when they asked me a question, "What race are you?" I said, "Why do you need to know what race I am? Why do you need to know my race?" And I started understanding they don't help us. The Cancer Society don't tell us how to get help. I met a lot of African Americans and Hispanics that didn't have any insurance, and they were on a waiting list for chemo. I was like,
Waiting.
wow, we can help another country fight a war, but we can't get medication,
To our own
cancer
people,
treatment
yeah.
to our own people. Sad.
That's very sad.
This country's
So what is your protocols for you talked about the juicing, but you're doing more than just juicing.
me. Okay. Every day it's a routine. I would get up. I walk a mile. I work out every day. So I kept my weight. The doctors was like, even doing chemo, they was like, you didn't lose any weight. I was like, I don't know. Maybe my body responded to it well. What I do every day, I get up and I juice broccoli, green apples, aloe. What else? There's so much I put in my body. Ginger, turmeric, every day. So my body doesn't have any inflammation in it.
Right.
I don't have any joint pains, anything. It changed my whole body. And I've learned so much. Apricot bitters, I take every day. What else I take? Wormwood, green walnut hull. What I thought about, the reason why my numbers dropped tremendously, I said, okay, I'm going to give it what it doesn't like.
Right.
Okay? Everything is math. Life is math.
Right.
We just don't pay attention to it. It's like what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
How I got cancer. Stress gave me cancer.
Yeah, they say stress is a true killer.
Stress gave me
Yeah.
cancer.
It doesn't matter if it's good stress or bad stress.
There you
Stress is
go.
stress.
It gave me
Yeah,
cancer.
yeah. That you really took your health in your own hands.
Absolutely.
You had to. Well, at what point in time were you like, you know what? I can't be part of this system when it comes to my health and getting through this cancer journey.
When I started using common sense. See,
What does that mean, though?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. The streets have taught me so much. And we were raised in the streets to know this. When your gut tells you something, believe it.
Believe it.
Don't trust the brain.
That's that intuition.
Trust the feeling.
Yeah.
I don't trust my brain. I trust what I feel.
Right.
If I met you, when I first met you, I felt great energy.
Right.
I wouldn't know if you're not a good guy because I know.
Right.
So what happened was when I was talking to all these doctors, he's no good, you bastard. You just want money.
Wow.
So I started saying, okay, well, let me start finding out who beat this disease. And it's millions of people out there who beat it. Information is power. Just go look. But most people will not look. They listen to the oncologist. So what I did, I'm an extremist.
Right.
So, I sleep on the same side of the bed every night. I get up this time in the morning. My body knows to wake up at. I don't need an alarm clock. My body knows. I'm that type of person. And then once I started eating clean and I started seeing results, I look at food sometimes, but like, I want some, but I know I want to live.
That's more important. That's super
Absolutely.
easy. Regardless if you have that addictive personality,
There you go.
You have the ability to turn on and off that switch.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a powerful thing.
I'm strong.
You have a powerful mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why my numbers, my doctor's always like, your numbers are gone.
Do you see yourself coaching others when it comes to this?
That's what I want to do. What I want to do is tell the truth about life. Like most people you see, I watch people on social media, they're lying. That's not life. I'm around famous people now, successful people. They're miserable. They're only going to show you what they want to show you. It's not real. Because what's understood don't need to be explained.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm wealthy, I don't need to show you. If I want to show you something, that means I'm not what I'm showing you. What you are is what you are. You don't go around and tell people what you own. They know you own it. You don't got to go tell them.
Wow. Yeah, and that's true, man. A lot of these wealthy people, the executives and stuff.
If you own, those are the people that I sold tons of dope to. Right. I'm gonna tell you a story about a very prominent lawyer from my city. He had a best friend, and he told me, he was like, "Rock, I would always mingle with upper class. Even though I didn't know what I was talking about, I act like I know what I was talking about. And I always wanted to be different than just a regular street guy. That's why I opened up those locations. I wanted to be more than what I thought I could be.
Right.
So one day, there's so many stories I have because my life, it could be a movie. Mm-hmm. This guy's very successful in my city. Like, my friend, I don't like him, Rock, no more. I said, why you don't like him? Like him, asshole. Excuse my French. He said, he has like a collection of Rolexes. Go get them. And this taught me a valuable lesson about envy, jealousy, this one situation. So I watched him. The guy was in a wheelchair. So he was a president of a bank in South Florida. And I watched him for a week. Told me his gate code to get in. His own friend. So I watched him. I told my boys, I don't need you guys on this one. This is easy. The guy's in a wheelchair. So he was going up. He has this ramp custom built for his home. So I waited on him, and I drew down on him. He was scared. I was like, get in the house. And I had my zip ties. I zip tied one of his arms to the other wheelchair. And I didn't ask him about the collection of Rolexes. I asked him, where's the jewelry? If I would ask him about a Rolex, he possibly like, how would this guy know I got Rolexes in my house?
Right.
So what happened was he had a collection of them. And I got him. And I called this prominent lawyer we have here. And I said, how many do you want? He looked at me with a straight face. I'm never going to forget this. And he said, I don't want any. I just don't want him with them. I said, damn.
Wow.
That taught me a lesson.
Wow.
That's why I never let people know where I live. Nothing, because envy is powerful.
Wow.
And jealousy.
That is a scary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, be careful. You never know who's watching.
Yeah. Everybody's watching.
Yes.
You're in a fish tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I tell people all the time.
Yeah, that's something, man. That's
There's just so many
you
stories I
think about
have.
somebody like that who's an attorney, right?
Prominent.
And they're so broken. A lot of these executives and stuff. My business mentor, he actually says this quite often. He says always see the billionaires going to the monks. You never see the monks going to the
There you go.
billionaires. And the monks, you see how they live.
Seen so much in my short period on this earth of these people with so much money, so miserable. I've seen millionaires want to have black fetishes. My wife wants this person. I'm like, wow,
Wow.
it's crazy. I was like, what? Like, my wife thinks you're very handsome, Rock. She wants you. Give her that gift from me. I'm like, no, I don't get out like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he wants to watch.
Yes.
Man,
That was real life. I'm being honest. It's crazy.
Yeah. Man.
But real life. I'm being honest. When you're in that world,
Yeah.
you see so much.
You see a lot. A lot of negativity.
That's
right?
what it is. It's a low vibration.
It's a low vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always want to be around those people that are vibrating at that high
Absolutely.
frequency. And that picks you up when you're
It
around those
does.
type of people. So right now there's a big movement
Mhm.
happening called Make America Healthy Again.
Yes.
And a lot of the stuff you're talking about is actually what the movement represents.
Okay.
So I want to kind of pick your brain on what you think about this movement with RFK Jr. and exposing the big food companies and the pharmaceutical companies with all the craziness that they've put us through.
I love what he's doing. He's a great man. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. When people are doing positive things in the community, you have to praise them.
Right.
Get rid of all the petty bickering back and forth. He's stopping us from using coloring. Like, people don't understand. I used to love cereal. I would never eat cereal again. I would never drink Kool-Aid again. I would never even eat a Hot Pocket again.
Right.
All that stuff is processed, and it's killing you.
Poison.
Yeah, and people don't care. In my community, it's crazy.
Right.
It's so crazy. And I want to educate my people, all type of people, not just my people, everybody. Because America's we call the fat country.
Right.
That's what we're called. And we're the only country that allow these chemicals.
Right.
High fructose corn syrup. You're not supposed to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But looking ingredients,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
it's horrible.
That's you start looking at some of these big food companies that are American food companies. They go sell their products to other countries,
and take
Canada, and they make it healthy.
No food coloring,
but not their own people. They don't even think
they don't. So I tell people all the time. I try to teach people, if you're going to eat, make sure you put greens in your food, because people don't understand that greens are what flush your system. It's fiber, because people don't understand when you eat meat. I do a lot of studying. It's worms in that meat.
Right.
Even if it's cooked, it's still worms. Worms are small, microscopic, but they're still inside of you. Right. And then people don't realize this brain people always focus on, but your gut has a brain.
They actually say that's your first brain.
Yes, people don't understand. Feed the gut, it will heal the body.
Right.
Clean your colon.
That's they call it the brain gut axis.
Yes, the polyps are growing in all of us. I tell people all the time. Me and Kai talk about this sometimes. I'm like, Kai, you into bodybuilding, and I want you to keep cleaning your insides. Okay, Rock, I'll do it. I was like, come on, I love you. You're my friend. I want you to take care of yourself. Because bodybuilding, it's a different sport, but
Yeah, you abuse your body some bit.
Absolutely.
So I did bodybuilding. There goes a couple of my trophies. And,
okay, awesome.
I did NPC, got nationally qualified.
Congrats.
So I got a little spot in my heart for bodybuilding. But I could tell you from when I did do bodybuilding, it was, I look good, but
tear the body up.
You tear your body up tremendously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Rock, you decided to publish this book.
Yes.
And you mentioned earlier you can't read or write.
I can read now.
You can read now.
Now but it was, I was embarrassed because I only knew one thing is street stuff. And I would always be upset. People,
But why write the book?
To be honest with you, Wayne Dyer changed my life.
Mm.
I dedicated my book to Wayne Dyer. I just picked up YouTube and I started looking at his stories, and he always said, never die with your music still playing.
Oh.
So I didn't want to die like that. I was like, if I can make millions of dollars illegal, I can make millions of dollars legal. What happened is God just shows you when you go to me, I can't bless bad money. The devil gave me.
Mm.
But when I chose the other side, God was like, Rock, I can't let you keep this. I didn't give it to you. The devil gave it. You hurt people to get it. So what God did was take it, all of it. And he showed me he was going to take it.
Wow.
But it's okay. It's part of life. You know, I'm a hustler. I'm always going to get it back. But now I learned to do it the right way.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how it works.
So the book was part of you telling your story to help somebody
It
out?
was my therapy.
It was your therapy.
It was my healing. Because someone I can help. There's kids out there that can't read that I deal with that has autism. And I love them, you know, because we need to learn patience with kids.
Right.
You know, I love kids, you know. And once we learn patience to help them, they can make it. Even poor kids in the Black community. I always tell people this. I tell a lot of my white friends, we want the same thing you guys want. We don't want crime.
Right.
We want nice homes, picket fence, family, wife, kids. We want all that. We
Right.
just don't have the opportunities you guys have.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't. People don't want to tell the truth. We don't. We coveted what we see every day.
Yeah.
If I'm around drug dealers every day in poverty, I'm gonna be closer to those type of energies than the other type.
You know, there's a statistic that I was reading that you can grow up in a very positive household, right? With mom, dad, going to the church. But you could grow up in that positive household in a bad neighborhood. The person that lives in a broken household in a good neighborhood will do better
Absolutely.
because the external environment has a bigger impact on that child growing up.
Because we're called the have-nots. And when someone else has it, I'm always gonna cling them. How did you get that?
Right.
No one wants to be poor. Everyone wants nice clothes, nice shoes, Jordan's clothes.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't choose to be a wolf. I didn't choose that lifestyle. Someone introduced me to that lifestyle, and with my personality, I loved it. It wasn't even about the money. After a little while, it was the thrill of see if I can get away with it. Ain't that sad?
Yeah, you get that adrenaline.
I used to
going.
go to banks and open up my safe deposit box and just look like, damn, look at that. I used to have to force it down.
Wow.
But it was the thrill. I have that addicted personality. I tell people all the time who have those type of personalities, be careful. Because in drugs, I used to tell guys don't take the panties off this drugs. If you take the panties off, it's going to be hard to put them back on.
Yeah, yeah. You feel like you struggled with this self-forgiveness?
That's the hardest thing I deal with more than anything.
You still deal with it today?
Yes.
How do you deal with it?
I could ride by somewhere that I robbed or someone I hurt. Brings back memories like, why did I do that? There was a couple it was a pawn shop in West Palm that a guy worked there. And he was like, Rock, take them down. They got a house where they got a bunch of diamonds in and safe with all types of stuff in. So, excuse me. So what I said was, I really don't like doing that because they were seniors, you know? Excuse me, I'm sorry. So what happened was, my boys were like, man, Rock, let's go get it. So we used to do this all the time. We used to love when it gets dark early. When the hour change.
Right.
Because when you do things, don't do it late at night. Do it when everybody's around. No one pays attention if you just do it the right way. But at late at night, if you're doing crime, someone's watching. It's different when it's in the middle of the daytime. So I watched this couple for about a week. I'm never going to forget this story. It's in my book. I had my vest on, my badge and all that. And I waited till they left.
You would always dress up as like a police officer?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. I still recall some of that stuff, you know. I tell you another story. A friend saw me on TV. He said, I saw you on TV, Rock. That was you. I know your body. That was me. So in real life. So I followed this couple home, me and my guys, and they were old. And I said, man, don't hurt these old people. Don't do that. It was like, man, Rock, you should have been damn saint. I was like, chill out. I'm the boss. So we waited till they got to the door. I knocked on the door. I have a question. I'm a cop. And she opened the door. So I said, get in here and sit down. She kept saying, please don't hurt me. My husband has a bad heart. I said, come on, boss. We're not going to hurt you. Come in and sit down. I didn't even tie him up, you know. So my friend said, I said, where's the safe? So they went and pulled a picture off the wall. It was a safe. They opened it. Let me tell you how crazy life is, and I messed up. As we're going through the safe in real life, I pulled everything out. There was a bunch of silverware, gold, brooches, everything. It's huge, full of stuff. So I said, I saw these pill bottles, and I shook them, and I pushed them back. In real life, I shook them up. Because in my mind, I can still hear her saying, my husband has a heart problem. And I'm thinking, they're pills. I pushed them back in the safe, took everything out, and I left them alone. I said, you guys all right? We're gone. You know, you don't hurt nobody, but you just.
Right.
So I got back home. We looked at, and it was a good lick. Probably $500,000 worth of stuff. So the next day, the white guy who put me on the lick said, Rock, can I tell you something? I was like, what? We did it. He said, you got to be excuse my French, the dumbest nigga that ever lived. I said, what are you talking about? He said, Rock, you left $1.5 million in diamonds in the safe. I thought they were pills.
Oh, wow.
They were diamonds.
Wow.
And we laughed about the story all the time. You know, I did so much, you know, and I was like, man, $1.5 million in diamonds.
Wow.
Because I thought they were pills. In my mind, I'm thinking, take me back to my grandfather. I don't want to hurt my grandfather's all I had. I love my grandfather. So I'm thinking that this old man is going to be okay.
Yeah, but, you know, ultimately there was a reason for that to happen. You know,
that million,
yeah.
I could have did something. It could have put me in a bad situation.
Right.
You never
Right.
know. So
Or that could have been what the guy needed to take care of himself.
You're right.
You know, I never know.
And we
right?
did. And I look now when I lost everything, all these stories came back to remind me. Now you see how it felt.
Wow. Wow. You know, Steve Jobs would always say you can only connect the dots looking backwards, not forward.
There you go. And I found out.
Yeah.
And that's why the pain went away, because it doesn't bother me no more.
Right.
I was like, okay, God, we're even now.
So I want you to take some time right now, Rock. And what is if I give you a quick 2 minutes, tell me what you want the world to hear about you and about life. I want you to go ahead and just spit it out.
What I want a legacy. I want to be remembered for someone who did something positive. Because we all going to leave here. We all going to die. But I want to leave a legacy for my family. That's really important. Because everything else is fake. It's not real. We're just passing through. But I want a legacy. That's all I really want. I want to be able to help people. If I can help one person, one kid, I did what I was supposed to do. You know, and all I ask God for is give me a little bit more time. And I believe he's going to give it to me because my body's showing me, you know.
Absolutely.
I just want more time to fix what I did wrong. And then we kind of even, God.
Yeah.
At least I can try to fix it. You know?
What's the best way that you currently are giving back?
Speaking to people about health. Because most people try to hide that they cancer treatment because they think people are going to feel sorry for them. I'd rather you to feel sorry for me than me to save your life.
Right.
Because most people are ignorant to cancer until it happens to you or someone in your family. But we still don't learn until something bad happens to us.
Yeah. You pertain to any kind of cancer community group or anything?
No.
How important is community for health?
That's the biggest thing. Because our communities are so far behind. I think 65% of Black people and Hispanic people are overweight.
Wow.
65 to 70%, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
If 5 people walked in here, 3 of them are fat.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with being fat. You know, I don't body shame anyone. But
No, but it's your health.
yeah,
you know
be
what I'm
healthy.
saying?
Yeah,
And sometimes a lot of people, they just don't know.
absolutely.
So when I worked at the fire department for 12 years, you know, I grew up in the inner city.
Okay.
came here from Dominican Republic
Awesome.
as an immigrant. And one thing that I noticed working at the fire department in the inner city, and then on my days off doing my side hustle, which
Yeah.
was working with a functional medicine doctor
Okay.
in Boca Raton,
Awesome.
you saw the huge difference,
Yes, I
right?
see it.
You saw people who had the education and understand how to live healthy versus the people that if they knew they would, but the fact that they don't have that basic knowledge,
Yeah.
they're suffering, right? And they just listen. Growing up, I would see kids. They would eat a bag of hot Cheetos for breakfast.
All of us. Me too.
Poison. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Poison.
I would never eat that again.
So, I think that education and bringing it out to all of the different communities is important, right?
The biggest thing that I truly hate about cancer is I hate the Cancer Society because they earn billions of dollars and they don't give it to the community.
Oh, so you saying that
Even these black
Wh- wh-
athletes,
when you look at the Fruit Loop cereal and it says recommended by the American Heart Association or the Cancer Society,
they
isn't
don't.
that crazy?
Yes.
Right?
And people don't understand when I see people wearing pink gloves, pink this, like that money's not getting to us. I saw a lot of African Americans and poor whites, poor Hispanics get turned
Mhm.
away. I
Yeah.
saw that with my own eyes.
Yep.
So why would you wear these pink gloves and the pink basketball shoes? It's not going to no one. So stop supporting these people. The CEO for the Cancer Society, I think he makes what, 20 million a year?
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up about like the pink ribbon and stuff.
Yeah.
I just yesterday, as a matter of fact, I saw it on social media where someone posted enough with the whole pink ribbons on all
Yes.
of the packaging of the foods and stuff. How about if you take out the cancer causing chemicals
Thank
in the
you.
food so you could actually do something about the
Absolutely.
cancer?
The compound.
Yeah. Because a lot of these poisonous companies,
Yeah.
these food companies, they're putting the chemicals in the food, but then they want to go ahead and put the pink ribbon.
Yes.
You're the reason why it's happening.
Yeah, people don't even know, like, even pain medicine, you shouldn't take pain medicine because pain medicine clogs you up and turns into polyps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was a whole thing about even Tylenol.
People
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
It clogs you up, all pain meds.
Yeah. Rock, we're gonna have a little fun here. You know, one of my favorite podcasters is Stephen Bartlett with the Diary of a CEO.
Mhm.
He created these conversation cards. So I'm gonna let you grab that. You can open it.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's a little sleeve.
Okay.
And then you're just gonna grab one card,
Okay.
grab it from the middle anywhere. And then look at the card, read it,
Okay.
and then answer it.
Let's see where the energy's gonna let me pick. Wow, that's deep. Says, when was the last time you cried of happiness?
I haven't heard that one yet.
A great question. I was watching a Will Smith movie about the pursuit of happiness. I've never had it. I'm waiting on that moment. That's one. I've never had that.
Really?
I watched the movie, saw him at the end cry because he achieved something so hard to achieve. That's what I'm waiting.
We got to get you there.
That's what and I made millions of dollars, had business. I never was happy.
Wow.
Never was happy. Never. I can never recall one time in my life where I really was at peace. But now I am at peace. But I'm looking for the happiness. I'm at peace now.
But we're gonna get you there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's gonna be powerful. That's a powerful moment.
Yeah.
When you get there.
Never had it.
That's an amazing card. Rock, as we wrap up here, man, if there's someone listening or viewing the podcast and there's something they resonate with, what is one thing that you can leave them off with?
Don't listen to the noise. Go inside and listen to your internal self, your higher self, your conscience. Because usually we make bad decisions for listening to other people's perception of life. You can only learn by what your experiences are. Go inside and look for the answers. I tell everyone what I meet, when you have a problem, you already know the answer.
Right.
Don't go to someone to ask for the answer. Go to God and get quiet. He'll give you a whisper, tell you what the answer is.
And if people want to find you, where can they find you?
And that's one of the new things. The reason why I came on your podcast because I've always hid my truth. I didn't want people to know the truth about me. Because I was always embarrassed. Like, man, people gonna look down on me for hurting people and doing all this bad stuff. But you can look me up, Jason Neal on Facebook and Jason Neal on Instagram. I'm learning. I'm just new to this internet thing. So,
Nice.
I just want to help people. That's all. It's not even about money. It's about if I could do some type of good, and we even, God.
Yeah.
We even.
Yeah. Amazing. Brother, I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
The message is powerful.
Thank you.
And we got to just get the world to hear it.
Absolutely. I appreciate you for even entertaining me. Let me share my story. If it can help one person,
Yeah.
I'm thankful. I'm very humble. Cancer humbled me. I was arrogant before.
Yeah.
But it humbled
I feel it, man. I feel it.
It humbled me a lot.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, as you guys heard Rock say here, you got to listen to the voice inside. It's intuition. Don't get clustered with all of that other outer noise. You got to put yourself around people that are going to be vibrating at that high frequency. He's experienced it in multiple different facets. And now he's fighting for his life and he's doing well, right? But he's doing well because he's putting himself in that position to do well. Guys, make sure you share, this whole podcast here. It's going to touch someone. Someone's going to be able to benefit from it. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.
And one more question.
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to the young man, Yaki Awaken, because I'm always going to give credit where credit is due. I want to thank him because his information has done so much.
Powerful. Yeah.
And we need to really start loving on him more and putting him out there.
Absolutely.
Because
100%.
his brain is tremendous.
Yeah, he's doing the right things.
He's helped me a lot.
He came from the streets as
He
well.
helped me a lot. He don't even know he helped me a lot. Just listening to him, my body changed because of him.
Amazing.
He's
And that's what we're here to do, man.
And I want to give him his flowers.
Yeah.
He really helped me a lot. So
I appreciate it.
I want to give him his flowers.
100%.
Yeah.
Amazing. Rock, man, I appreciate you, brother.
All love, anytime.
All right, man.